So that went alright. We saved somebody, got some experience, a few people leveled up. Should be on our way to the cap soon. The Blind Guardian. So we have the ox skull. We just need a bell. I don't have the bell already, do I? There's the ox skull. Herbs, ivory figure. Steady battle. Yeah, I don't think I have anything about a bell yet. So that's the location to visit for dealing with Seaton. Ow. All the way up there? I already went up there. I'm picking the least efficient possible pattern with which to try to explore these places as far as supplies go.
You enter Seaton and take a look round. The priest is lost in thoughts, standing in front of the temple, as if he couldn't decide whether to go in or not.
The roof of the granary is leaky. We saw some rotten wooden planks.
Again? Morris only had the roof repaired last summer.
Did he? If he didn't, some of the grain would have got damp and rotten.
Out of the question. Morris would have reported that. He checks the grain once a month and there were no complaints.
The priest has absolutely no doubt in what he is saying, often a sign that someone hasn't thought things over.
We have found the thieves' hideout.
Really? That's welcome news.
With an encouraging nod, the priest of Palandil prompts you to continue.
We spoke to the people there. It was very revealing.
And?
The priest gives you the same look he otherwise uses to reprimand the villagers' minor sins.
They say they paid Morris to sell supplies and grain to them.
The priest wants to object.
He ripped them off. That would be an explanation as to why Tavia came back this morning, don't you think?
The cogs are turning inside the priest's head. His expression reveals that he doesn't like his own conclusions.
And what about the grain and the supplies?
So there we go. There we have it then. The location of the thieves' hideout makes absolutely zero sense as far as the story is concerned. Not only did our party member just casually wander over and follow her back to her base and still manage to come back to our base by the time we set camp for the night, but even now they're saying that, like, they're talking about how Tavia came back this morning. Like, this whole story arc is written as if it's supposed to happen over the span of 24 hours, and yet they put the thieves' hideout on the other side of the entire map, which requires at least a week of travel to get there and then another week to get back. Like, they seem to have made a mistake here when it seems to be in one of those cases where it seems like it should be like other stuff we've done in the past where the two locations should be like next door to each other or even closer.
The supplies and the grain, you won't see any of it again. We were too late.
The priest eyes you in silence, and you look back without batting an eyelid.
I am not sure whether you have earned a reward, Mr. Dwarf.
The priest brings out a small pouch. He counts a few coins into your hand.
Oh, is it just over then? I thought we'd at least... So he's just not going to buy into the idea... I guess it's over then, huh? He's just not going to buy into the idea that that guy betrayed him and was wrong about everything. Okay. Because, yeah, that guy ruined their stuff. I'm going to make another save. Because I'm worried. Because I want to go up north, but Jesus Christ. It's just so much travel time. And you go through all of your resources. Oh. That was the tavern. I'll enter the tavern real quick and talk to the landlady just to see if she has anything for sale again. She does not. She also does not sell the thing we want. I wish that she would... I really wish... Oopsie.
You know. Bavra...
I really wish I could buy more supplies.
The familiar jetty is empty.
So,
Not at the moment.
It's like, I have all this gold that I could buy supplies with, but there's no one to buy supplies from, so I have to hope that this town will sell supplies to me. Otherwise, this trip to try to get an item for that is just not going to work out. Just in general, the supplies mechanic seems like it's kind of poorly implemented. Mainly because you're throwing quests constantly, and you have no way of knowing in advance where they're going to be, and they can sporadically throw you all over the map, and the only way to get from point A to point B is to just lose like 100 supplies right on the spot. Because there's no fast traveling, there's no special methods to mitigate your resource loss besides taking this path right here, for example. And you just, like, I have money for supplies, but there's no places to buy supplies. Like, the whole mechanic kind of just seems like it was haphazardly thrown in just because they wanted to feel like there was supplies and stuff, but not necessarily because it made mechanical sense for how the game actually plays. Which can kind of be said about most of the mechanics of actual gameplay in this game. The cutscenes are good, the story is fun, the characters are well written and voiced, and like all of the like walk around on the map and interact with people, like all that stuff that happened with that one merchant that got attacked and stuff like that. Like, that was all cool stuff, but the actual combat is iffy in this game, and this entire exploration mechanic of the supplies seems like it wasn't very well thought out because it feels incomplete. Much like the leveling system for the characters and the fact that nobody has equipment in this RPG, and that all the RPG levels are super minimal, the fact that you can get supplies, but you have super limited access to them, even if you have a mountain of money, because people just don't, like, this entire map has, like, one location to buy supplies somehow. Like, that kind of baffling concept makes this entire thing feel really poorly thought out.
Your feet carry you back to Varenciensis, home of the Grand Archive. On the south wall is a house whose owner, according to Henson, has the Fire Eater bell in his possession. You follow the street to an estate on the south wall, which is surrounded by a fence. The paved path to the door is lined with hydrangea. You knock on the door gently, and after a while it is opened by a chubby man in expensive clothes. The man gives you a fleeting glance.
we don't want to buy anything.
He intends to close the door again without waiting for your answer. You put your foot in the crack of the door.
Wait, you have a rare bell in there, Fire Eater, am I right?
The man pauses.
Fire Eater? How?
Before he can finish what he's saying, a red-haired woman pushes past him. She is also wearing expensive clothes and is heavily made up. After she gives him a stern look, the man disappears into the house. She scrutinizes you with greenish-blue eyes.
How do you know about that, Shorty?
I, heard from someone in the city.
In the city? With the city whose gates are closed to everyone? Of course, I believe that. Go to Tion, groundling, and don't come back.
Before you can reply, the door is slammed in your face. You go back to the rest of the group.
Doesn't look like it went too well. Maybe I should try my luck, Tandil. I can be very persuasive.
Seemed like both my options were bad there. I could lie about the city, which of course gets me in trouble because it's an obvious lie, or I could tell them about the guy that told us, but he said that that would be a bad idea too.
Rodario follows the hydrangea-lined path to the door in elegant strides. He knocks on the door energetically, and a little later the door is opened by a red-headed woman. When she sees Rodario, her expression lightens. She opens the door fully and takes a tentative step forward.
What can I do for you? Are you a singer? An actor? Or a lute player?
The name is Rodario Fairmaid, gifted showman, mime, and dramatist. At your service.
Rodario elegantly pulls the hat from his head and bows before her.
Why am I doing the dialogue? I thought this was not me, it's him, right? Well, shit. I thought he was just gonna talk his way through this. Am I making decisions here? Crap.
Your wonderful rose bushes really caught my attention. You have exquisite taste.
The woman's greenish-blue eyes flash with anger. It immediately becomes clear to Rodario that he has made a mistake. It's about details, damn it. It's all about the details.
They're hydrangeas.
The woman turns around and heads inside the house.
Well, that's rough. The game kind of broke its own rules. I've never role-played any other character before, so once it's him, I'm thinking, oh, he's all fine, and now I've got to do his character? Alright.
I will never be able to forget your greenish-blue eyes as long as I live.
A smile follows, then a glance from those eyes, which are indeed a greenish-blue.
It would seem to me you have a skilled tongue and a love of details.
Anyone who does not notice your beauty must be walking through life with eyes closed. In terms of my tongue...
Oh, Mr. Rodario. How about a private presentation of your skills?
Rodario lays an experienced hand around the woman's waist and disappears into the house with her.
At your service, my dear.
After an hour, Rodario comes out of the house with a broad grin on his face and the bell in a bag.
The bell, as ordered. Apart from the esteemed Nomura, no woman has ever resisted my sweet words, not to mention my hands when...
All right.
You feel your cheeks turning red as you imagine what Rodario has just done.
What? All you did was recognize her eye color. What in the world is going on in the story all of a sudden? That was strange. Also, I can only go like 4 tiles before I starve. So I guess we'll learn what that does. And I might have to load my save if it means dying or something. Because I don't know what it does yet. Well, here we go. And 0. Wait, am I totally fine? No, is food just used for healing and nothing else, really? No one's complaining about the starving?
The old ruins of Wackenstein appear before you.
That's bizarre if that's how that works. That starving doesn't do anything to you. I think you use you technically use those supplies to heal, so it would suck to finish a big fight and then not have any healing supplies, for example, but it's still super bizarre that you run out of food and it's like, whatever. That's fine. It's just an entire band of people who just are gonna starve now, but no impact. It just makes the mechanics still feel all the more strangely implemented. Do I have everything I need now?
Henson, do you have a minute?
Have you found Elga?
To begin the festival, we need the ox skull, the fire eater bell, and the vervain.
That's everything, right?
See you later.
Let me...
So do I just click on it then? Because I have everything, basically. So attach the skull.
All right.
And now it's burning. So he said first the skull, I believe. So go up here next for the bell. Oops. Wasn't ready for dialogue to happen. Head on down. Will you please move? There we go. That was weird. Clicking just stopped doing things for a while.
Loud and powerful music follows the fog and the figures, crushing over your head in roaring waves. The force of the music clouds your senses, and it seems as if the statue of the blind guardian rises from his throne. You want to draw your companion's attention to it, but then you suddenly realize that you have a tankard of ale in your hand. You instinctively try it, and are happy to note that you haven't drunk such good ale since Ogre's death. The night becomes a colourful whirl of ale, music, dance and ecstasy. You can no longer remember why you are here or who you are celebrating with. For a few hours you forget what was and what is to come. You are completely in the here and now. You wake up the next morning. You're lying on your back and staring into a sky that is much too bright. You turn onto your side with difficulty and see your companions all around you, but no one else. The remains of a wild party. Campfires, tents, and ale tankards are still there, but the magic has gone. You stand up, muttering curses, and try to suppress the taste in your mouth and the pain in your head. To your great surprise, you see that the stony figure of the blind guardian has revealed a tunnel that leads into the rock of the mountain.
There we go. Path gets added, but we aren't forced to continue forward, so I can still try to deal with this problem down here. Okay, we'll give it another go at the very least. I'm not entirely committed to it because that mission looked like it might be a huge hassle that the combat system may not be entirely prepared for, but I'll give it a shot. Now with reinforcements.
The guards are much more alert now since the infiltration of the orc camp. You have delivered a serious blow to your enemy, and an attack should now be significantly easier. The mercenaries are waiting not far off, and are, as arranged, ready to attack. Gerald's archers are waiting for the attack a short way off the path. They concentrate on checking their weapons and are waiting for your orders. You enter the orc camp with your companions. You have a long way ahead of you.
Alright, then we'll see. So, first we weakened them from the underground tunnel and the infiltration. We did that before the first attempt, though, so we don't know what effect that had, but all we know is it was hard as shit afterwards anyway. Now we have a band of 15 assisting soldiers, supposedly. So it's all about picking the right crew, I hope, and seeing how things go from there. Let's give this a shot, then. Should I change the items out? Increases damage of auto attacks by 100%. Probably pretty good for you, right? Instead of what he had before. He's got that shield. Extra action point every 5 seconds during battle. When damage is received, there's a 50% chance of reducing damage. Don't think you have anything on yet, so we should probably equip that with you. And Tungdill's wearing what? Nothing right now, actually. Huh. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be using anything at the moment. How did I manage that? I do have a few other things, though. Like this, local damage boost. Damage is halved for a while. That's probably why. Yeah, that's why I took it off, is because it became a little bit redundant, didn't it? I don't like the idea of unequipping skills, though, because I can only pick 3. There's some good stuff here. Let's see. Bonus damage is good. Reduced damage received is good. Be good to have buffs. Maybe that's the call. Have access to buffs and defensive powers that hopefully help the party and make that count. That might be the thing to do here. Just have leap so we can actually get around with him in a bad situation. I hope. Well then. Those are allies. That's only 10 allies though. Where are the archers? We supposedly have allied archers somewhere. I don't know where they are. Well, we'll see how this nightmare goes. Because I don't know how feasible this is just because the enemy has so many soldiers. But we'll give it a shot. Everyone needs to actually go in and fight now. Let's see, I'm controlling this guy. Slam. Oh, hitting my teammates already. That's a bad start. There we go. Oh, he's already in crazy mode, so I can't use him. Bowendel's not even fighting, because of course not. We're already in trouble, aren't we? And of course, Boendel has kind of friendly fire, which isn't always helpful. Alright, in we go. Let's give it a shot. Let's get up. Try to get everyone into this wave if we can. Alright. That'll hopefully help the party out enough. Things are mostly working out a little bit. We have to deal with the fact that this guy's constantly trying to die, basically, is how it feels. Boendel's so not durable. Thankfully, having a whole bunch of allies seems to have led to a situation where, just if nothing else, the archers are hitting other people. Unfortunately, the humans die, I believe. I can't even count. I honestly can't even tell how many there are right now. But we're very close to losing Boendel here. I'm trying to use the heal as often as possible, but that's not always easy. Just trying to counteract the constant damage he's taking. I hope everyone in my party is fighting right now. You're not fighting, are you? Of course you're not. I mean, get in there. Is everyone just standing around? No, there's a few people around here.
What is it?
Just don't go down. Just stay alive a little longer. I'm just spamming. The problem with that skill is it's simultaneously a taunt and, ah, shit. I didn't use it once, and now I'm gonna lose, aren't I? There it goes. Well, crap. That's the beginning of the goddamn level. Why would I do this to myself? Ugh. Why would I do this to myself, indeed? Well, going on with my life. That level just feels miserable. Like, that's the opening part of it, and every single part's just more and more of that. Like, the game is not mechanically dense enough to make that kind of encounter seem reasonable. Like, your party doesn't have, like, heals and tanks and, like, rolls and crowd control and, like, a whole... You don't have a big versatile list of actions amongst your party. You mostly just have a bunch of dwarfs that you can barely control, and you can barely tell what's happening, and your orcs, your dwarves won't actually auto-attack nearby targets automatically, so you're constantly babysitting them. They're all taking damage constantly from unseen archers that are off camera, and then what?
If we go on now, we probably can't come back. The mechanism looks like it will close the pass behind us. We should be sure that we have done all we need to.
Like, if nothing else, you need like a way to have like a dedicated party healer of some kind to make that kind of stuff feel like it's not completely haphazard. Yeah, that's what save points are for, dude. We're ready to go forward.
The victory over the orcs was hard fought, but you have won. Not least thanks to your aides. You take care of the wounded and take your leave before you finally continue on your way into the mountains.
And so we trap ourselves. I promised I'd give the fight another try. I'm ready to move on, though. Hey, we got some provisions because we walked through a tunnel. Apparently, interesting. All those provisions are going to run out before we get anywhere. Unfortunately.
While you rest under a ledge at noon, Rodario and Fergus decide to go ice fishing, and the dwarves immediately pronounce their opposition.
Ice and water are both treacherous. They entice you to them. Before you know it, you disappear into them forever.
Like in a marriage, you mean? At first the woman entices you, but if you stay in her arms like a good boy, the good life is over all too quickly.
The good life, in which you go behind the backs of other men, get beaten up, and one day die painfully of a sexually transmitted disease.
All slander, my dear.
Rodario bares his teeth for a moment and then follows Fergus to the shore.
He reminds me of a billy goat we used to have. Mounted everything that got in its way. One day, he mounted a goat that was standing too close to a cliff. The two of them fell down the cliff in the best of spirits.
So that was a story about suicidal goat fucking, just so we're clear.
Your path leads you over a snowy, hilly plain, and as you scale a particularly steep hill, you falter. A crevasse opens out in front of you. You look around, but there isn't any point nearby where you could cross over the gap. You follow the course of the crevasse. After an hour, the end of the crevasse is still not in sight. However, you do find a cave that slopes down softly parallel to the crevasse.
So we had a chance to just go in the crevasse. Now we found an easier cave, and now we have a chance to keep going if we want to and keep exploring in case the cave might be too dangerous too. Maybe we should just try to avoid the crevasse as best we can?
After half a day's march, you finally reach a place where you can safely go around the crevasse. At the end of the day, you are back on course to the Firstling stronghold.
Admittedly, there would be more stakes if supplies meant anything, and if I had any of them.
You finally arrive at the entrance to a valley that curves its way towards Ironhold, the Firstling stronghold.
Markus, we've done it! Get down!
Up there!
Run! I can't maintain this spell for long!
Put him on Goimgar's shield. To the gate. Quick!
Well, that's awful convenient timing to reunite, as everything goes to hell. So did we just lose someone?
As you approach the first gate, you see guards on the battlements. You call as you run.
By Vracus, we are dwarves of the kingdoms of the secondlings and the fourthlings. Open the gate!
Their leader gives orders that you cannot hear, but moments later, the gate opens up for you.
Report back! Man the walls and the defences!
The guards follow the orders immediately.
Who are you that lead the Alpha to our door?
How dare you speak to us like that? Dwarf who seems to have no name?
Boindale steps forward before you can stop him.
I am Boindale Doubleblade, a child of the smith of Burrowin folk. And that is my brother Boindale, who needs a healer immediately.
The commander pulls down his scarf, and his face leaves you speechless.
Only a dwarf could make such a fuss. Ballard Steelfinger. I protect the main gate of the Firstlings, therefore it is my duty to regard all guests precisely before I invite them in.
But you were a woman!
You have a keen eye, Boindale Doubleblade.
The tender features and soft fluff leave no room for doubt. A female dwarf is the commander of the guard. She gives orders for the injured Boindale to be taken care of. 4 dwarves pick him up on his shield, and Boindale follows them.
Stay with your brother. I will bring the rest of you to Queen Zamtis, where you can explain what you're doing here.